Hey everybody, back again today. I told you I'd go ahead and probably do a more of a dedicated video on Kansas concealed carry. So I've got my daily carry stuff out here. Cell phone, of course. Got the Beretta out today just because it was the one on top of the pile. My holster that I used for that Beretta. This is Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops. If you notice, the Band-Aid's gone today, but boy, doesn't that thing just look tasty. After having some Band-Aids on it for a couple of days, thought I'd better let her dry out. Probably need to super glue that back down, but anyway. When I originally applied for my CCW back in 2007, got this pamphlet, and a lot of this information that's in it now has changed. One of the few things that has remained constant is this is a picture of the gunbuster sign that they use in Kansas, and it is the only one that has any legal force. It does have to be a 8-inch square with a 6-inch red circle, and it has to have the Beretta 92 in it. If it doesn't have that, it doesn't qualify as a legal sign, and can carry no force of law without that. Now, one of the things that most of us in the concealed carry community that are involved with the concealed carry forum in Kansas do carry around with us is we carry these business cards. Basically, it says, I've noticed your sign, I'll respect your wishes, and I'll take my business elsewhere. I only shop where I can carry. And then on the back it has some little information about, as a Kansas concealed carry licensee, got no felony convictions, never been convicted of domestic violence, have no history of mental illness or drug addiction, passed background check by the KBI, passed mandatory training, and then it asks the owner that can they say the same thing about all the rest of their customers, and then it goes on to say that to help avoid any licensed individuals running afoul with their policy, we're listing their business on the Do Not Patronize While Armed list at KSCCW.com, which is the state's site that has been put online for those that want to participate in it in the concealed carry community. Not sure how many members are on it now, probably pushing around 5,000 or 6,000. Anyway, good conversation. One of those things, if you're in another state, you might check around and see is if there's a similar site dedicated to concealed carry. I know Oklahoma has one. It's actually the Oklahoma Shooters Forum, and then you got to dig into the forum to get into the concealed carry section because it covers pretty much all kinds of shooting. There's a couple over Missouri that I'm familiar with also, but I'm sure that probably most every state probably has one. It just may take some digging around on the internet to find it. Like I say, the concealed carry law in Kansas went into effect in January 1st of 2007. In January 1st of 2008, House Bill 2825 went into effect, and that made some changes to the original law, which is the original law was called the Kansas Personal and Family Protection Act. It continues to hold that name. However, it has been substantially modified by HB 2825, and then last year in 2010 it was modified again by Senate Bill 306. The first thing that HB 2825 did was it put out that local jurisdictions could not restrict concealed carry inside the state of Kansas. Another thing that it did was it made city sidewalks, city parks, city roadways, parking lots, both public and private. It made those so that they could not be posted against concealed carry. which of course was the very first thing that everybody did when the law went into effect. Every local jurisdiction in the world said, "Oh, we can't carry in your parks, can't carry on the sidewalks, can't carry in the streets." Then all local businesses said, "Oh, we can't carry in our parking lots," and they posted their parking lots against concealed carry. And HB 2825 took care of all that. Like I say, in 2009, SB 306 was passed. It went into effect January 1st of 2010. And I'm sorry, it went into July 1st of 2010. All laws in Kansas generally go into effect July 1st unless they're otherwise specified. 306 made major changes to the law, and I usually don't go off a script, and I don't really have a script, but I did go ahead and print off from the Kansas Attorney General's office the changes that were made by 306. So I'll kind of briefly go over them and hit some of the highlights. One of the things that went into effect was that non-Kansas resident active military and their dependents can now be licensed under the Kansas Personal and Family Protection Act, and they do not have to acquire or maintain a Kansas driver's license to do that. So that was a big thing for all the active military stationed in Kansas. One of the other things that it did was it changed the residency requirement. Prior to SB 306, you had to be a Kansas resident for 90 days. That eliminated that residency requirement to on or after July 1st of 2010. And so if you're moving into the state, you can you can apply for a license as soon as you are actually living in the state. So if you have a valid CCW license from a recognized jurisdiction that Kansas recognizes, depending on their training requirements and such, you can go ahead and apply and carry. Once your application is in, you can carry on that out-of-state license. It also, in some cases, will allow you to waive the training requirement in Kansas, which is just an 8-hour basic, kind of a basic NRA pistol course. But if you're in a state that has a similar training requirement, you can skip that training here in Kansas and basically use your former state of residence CCW license as qualifying as your training requirement. You still have to fill out an application and follow the instructions on the application. Basically, it's fairly simple. You, of course, have to be 21. You still have to be a resident of the United States. However, they have changed what qualifies you as a citizen now in 306, and I'm not going to go into those details. Like I say, I'll put the Kansas Attorney General's website up there. It's actually broke down and very easy to go through all the different components of it to tell you all the information you need to know. You no longer have to be a resident in Kansas for 6 months. You do still have to be a resident in the county where you're applying. When you fill out the application, you either have to include a copy of the 8-hour training certificate that you had, or like I say, if you've moved from out of state, you have to include a copy of your current valid license. 2x2 passport photo and a couple of checks. They used to be cashier's checks or money orders, and used to be $110 to the Attorney General and $40 to the local sheriff. One of the things that SB 306 also did was you can write a personal check to them now, and the fees went down to $100 and $35. but they also added the stipulation that if you write them a hot check, they won't finish processing your application until it's paid in full, which, you know, I stick with the cashier's checks or the money orders. You know, why risk it? Just you know, everybody makes mistakes, and like I say, why take the chance of delaying stuff just because of that? You still have to, like I say, complete the application with all your personal info. Still have to go to the county sheriff where you reside and get your fingerprints taken, and then the sheriff's department will handle it from there. By law, there is a minimum 45-day waiting period, and by law, it cannot take more than 90 days for them to process it. If it does go beyond 90 days, then they're supposed to just automatically issue you a license. See, I'll just flip through here. They used to have a lot of disqualifying factors on them, and some of those have been altered. Before, if you'd taken a diversion, you were ineligible, and that's been changed. It used to be if you had had any DUI at all, you were not qualified, and that's been changed. Like I say, if you still have a felony DUI, you're still out of luck. Like I say, they've changed the U.S. citizenship requirement, and they've also, one of the things they changed under the mental health requirement was if you'd ever attempted a suicide attempt, then you were disqualified. But they've altered that a little bit now. I'm not going to go into the specifics. I'll let you do your own homework on that end of it. Like I say, they do require a photocopy of your ID and or your driver's license. The checks. Let me flip back through here. One of the things that they did change, like I say, this is the only official gunbuster sign that has any legal standing. One of the things that did change with SB 306, prior to that, it was I believe a Class B or C misdemeanor to if you got, if you were stupid enough to carry past the sign and get caught, and it was automatic suspension of your license. What that has changed to now is the first time you get caught, it's a $50 fine. The second time you get caught, it's a $100 fine. If you get caught a third time, then you still get the Class B misdemeanor and up to $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail. So, obviously, I certainly don't condone violating the law, but everybody makes a mistake. One of the other things with this sign that changed with 306 is the placement of it. Prior to 306, the signs could be placed anywhere on the building, and they, if they were the legal sign, they carried legal force. Now, every entrance to every building, or to any building, has to have the proper signage. That signage has to be at eye level to an adult, which they've interpreted to basically between 4 and 6 feet off of the ground. And it has to be within 12 inches to the right or the left of the door. It has to be in plain view and cannot be blocked by anything. And they've even included, I believe they've even included like smoked glass as being considered an obstruction. So that was one of the good things that changed recently. Another thing that changed was they did have a they did have a caveat that if you were carrying under the influence, that before 306, the simple reason that you had a CCW license mandated that if you were caught and suspected of being under the influence, that you had to submit to a blood or alcohol level test breath or blood alcohol level test, and you didn't have any choice in it. Otherwise, if you failed to submit to that, then you were automatically suspended. That did change with 306, and now the way it reads, I'll read it to you. In the situation where a licensee is only suspected of CUI, a licensee is not presumed to have consented to any testing of breath, blood, or other bodily substances unless they shoot and kill or seriously injure a person, including themselves. In such instances, if the licensee refuses a test for intoxication, then the CCH licensee is subject to suspension for a minimum of 1 year for the offense and a minimum of 3 years for a second or subsequent offense. So, basically, if you decide to shoot yourself, they're going to suspend your license for a year. And if you successfully kill yourself, then they're still going to suspend it for a year. But if you successfully kill yourself twice, then you may have a minimum 3-year suspension. So go figure that one out. That's it's the way they write the laws. But like I say, basically the laws are pretty favorable now. There's no caliber restriction. There is no number of firearms restriction. If you choose to carry 15 firearms on you, you can. You can carry as much ammo as your body has the ability to lug. And if you can find a compact enough gun and 50 caliber, then you can carry that too if you want. Like I say, beyond that, things are fairly favorable as long as you're not crossing gun buster signs. You can carry pretty much anywhere you want, and you can carry as many weapons as you wish. The Attorney General's site certainly is going to give you more information than I'm giving you now. I'm just kind of hitting it with a brief overview. And the Kansas Concealed Carry site, lots of good folks on there, lots of good information to be had. If you got additional questions for those guys as to what they're carrying or stuff, log on there, become a member. Doesn't matter whether you're in Kansas or not. There's plenty of people from other states on there too. So anyway, hope you find this informative. Talk to you later. Have a good day.